Hey guys, and happy Homebrew Wednesday. Drinking up on my coconut IPA, actually. I brewed this thing up back in October of last year, of course. And look at the color on that. It's definitely changed. It's darkened a little bit as beer does. The aroma though, it's taken on that sort of hoppy sweetness. And the malty sweetness is there. It's drinking really, really nice. Anyways, without further ado, cheers. First one of the week. So, homebrew related. Been pretty busy actually. You saw, maybe not, a couple weeks ago I did the Rainbow Pale Ale again. And really looking forward to that. I just put it into the fridge to cold crash. Yeah, let me go ahead and say a few words about the cold crashing thing. So when I was watching NewToHomeBrew Tom's recent Homebrew Wednesday video or update on Sunday, he was talking about what do you do when you cold crash a fermentation vessel? Because that fermentation vessel, it wants to collapse as the air pressure changes. So how do you actually prevent, the star sand from going up into your fermentation vessel? For me, on the better bottles, I've got one of these locks and it's got a little ball in there that will prevent air from going in. So the better bottles will actually shrink, and then it's okay to keep it that way. And then when it's time to rack off, I just slowly let some air in by, when I take it out, and then it's okay. Now when it comes to the buckets though, when you have like the S-bubbler airlocks, well, that's something a little bit more tricky. Here's something that I learned. Okay, so here I've got the Rainbow Pale Ale. It's cold crashing. I just put it in here. Take out the airlock, and it's got star sand up in it. Right now, yeah, there's air that's getting down into there, but at this point, I'm really not worried about it so much. What I'm going to do is I'm going to empty out that star sand. So I've got a couple buckets over here. It's star sand, so I know it's sanitized. It's fine. I got a bucket of star sand here. I'll just rinse it out. Just make sure everything's okay. Empty that out completely. So I know it's sterilized. I could have done it over here as well. But the important thing is here. So if you or your wife has some like cotton swabs, basically what you want to do is take some cotton, dip it in some star sand, rinse it off a little bit, and then we're going to stick it up inside this end. There we go, just like that. So now we've got this cotton swab up here. It's got star sand in it. Everything is star sand. That little dribble that's there at the bottom, that's not going to make any difference whatsoever. It's not going to go up into the bucket, but anything that does go in the bucket, like air, going through that sanitized cotton swab, whoop, that's a bit too much, I'll fix that in a second, but anything going through here is going to hit this wet sanitized cotton swab, so nothing bad is going to get into your fermentation vessel. Okay, so I hope that helps you out, maybe. I got that off Homebrew Talk or somewhere like that, and I've never had a problem with it. It works really well with the buckets and the S-bubblers. So a couple days ago, someone asked me a question on the comments about, how do I clean my mash tun or my system when I'm brewing, as I'm brewing. Well, at this point, it's kind of where the start cleaning begins. So now that the boil kettle's full, it's time for me to empty out the mash tun. So I'll go ahead and empty out the mash tun and then use some of the water that's still left in the HLT to kind of rinse it out and yeah, get all the grains out of there. Then I'll prepare it to dump in some PBW, which I'll let soak while the boil is boiling. Yeah. After that, I run it through the pumps for about probably 30 minutes at least. Alright, so the mash tun is prepared. Pretty much took out the false bottom. Now I just got half a gallon of wort down there. It needs to be dumped out. And then I'll use the water that's left over here inside the HLT. Rinse it down before I put in the PBW. Of course, just use green weenie. Just get off all the grains on the side. And we'll go ahead and rinse this out a couple more times, and then once all of the grains are off the side and nothing is left in the bottom, then I'll fill it up with PBW. Okay, so that's it. That's the end of the brew day. Everything's in the fermenter. So now I'm just left with the cleanup, and here's the hop mess left in the boil kettle. Got the PBWs already wiped down, washed down the mash tun. So now I just need to clean this out, use the water that's left in the HLT in order to rinse all this stuff out before I transfer the PBW over here and give this guy a good scrub. Okay, and because I know all of the pump for transferring the wort and all of the lines and the counterflow chiller is full of gunk right now, I'm going to go ahead and take all of the water that's left in the HLT, and I'll use that to flush out all of the lines prior to using the PBW. Alright, so water coming out of the boil kettle through the pump, and clean it out through the bottom of the counterflow chiller, going backwards direction now, out through the top, pushing out any of the hop debris that's left up in there. we'll go ahead and just do this and pump the lines and try and get anything that might be stuck in there out. Alright, now all the water is out of there. I've changed the hoses around a little bit. So I'm going to take the PBW out of there, go through the pump, run it through the counterflow chiller, up into the boil kettle through the whirlpool port. That will fill the boil kettle with the PBW. Once that's done, I'll switch this from here over to the boil kettle, and I'll recycle through the system probably for about 30 minutes. All the while I'll be cleaning out the kettles and finishing cleaning up the area, stuff like that. Alright, so the mash tun now has star sand in it, and I'll use star sand to scrub this down inside and out. And then as you can see, the circulation is finding more hot debris throughout the system. So I'll go ahead and continue to pump this for about another 15 minutes. And then I'll rinse it out with water. And then I'll transfer the star sand over to the boil kettle and star sand the boil kettle. And that'll be it. Alright, so here we go. The HLT is all dried out. Mash tun's all cleaned out, dried out, ready to go. And the boil kettle is still just whirlpooling the star sand. So we just got to wipe it down, dry it off. You can see that the star sand is all really clear, so it signals to me that the system's all cleaned up and ready to go for the next brew day. And there it is, finally all cleaned up, floors swept up, mopped up, console's off, ready for the next brew day. But yeah, that's about all I've got going on, guys. I hope you're having a hell of a week and have a better weekend. Cheers.